Howdy you all, Sika here. I thought I'd get you another update on my current projects and other shenanigans I've been working on. Well, you're probably interested first, my human to dragon transformation. And I finally got the human character ready. Let me show you him. This is the magic human square. I'm just joking, let me load it. This is Alex. Let me turn him around so you get a complete full view of him. And he's simple design. So I've already done some experimentations with Alex. My first morph test is trying to turn Alex into, well, Sika. It's alright. It's my first attempt at it. There are some things that I can improve, but again, it was my first attempt. And to show, I can change it at any angle. The back is probably not that great because I didn't even look at it, but it kind of works. So that's my first morph test. Also, there's a method that I found out on the YouTubes called using shrink wrap and then turning that shrink wrap into a key shape and then cleaning it up. And I attempted it with a Velociraptor. Now I didn't actually design the Velociraptor model. It's one of the few models I've actually purchased for reference when I draw stuff. I think I purchased it off CG Trader if I recall. So this one is using shrink wrap 2 method. So it works pretty well. So it actually uses 2 models. First, I actually sculpt and modified Alex around the Velociraptor model, and then I kind of blended them. You can see it better here. So let me show you some shots. Here's the first shot of him turning into a Velociraptor. Maybe I'll just run it instead. So here's the first attempt of turning him into a Velociraptor. I mean, it came pretty good. The in-between, I decimated both models to low polygon and then boosted the polygons back up. So I've noticed other 3D transformation artists, they'll do cutaways where they'll show one part slowly transforming and then it transforms into a different part, then they'll show a different part and go back and forth. They usually don't do it all at once like this. And now attempting one, I clearly understand why. Because to get it to look perfect, it's totally difficult. So we just quickly run it a couple times at different angles for you all, so you can see it at its fullness. There it goes, pops in. So yeah, the decimation takes a lot of memory processing, so it's popped in. If you'd like to see a nice, clean, smooth version of this, I have it on my Patreon. My patrons get to see my 3D and my transformation animations first, and then in a couple weeks I usually make them public. But yeah, that's my first attempt. So this is my second attempt in Blender. I guess I should say that. Well, that's not true too. I did a black dragon a year or two ago, but I used more particle effects for that. This is actually morphing. Okay, what's next? I did something else transformation related. I decided to cancel Sicko Plays and just start playing video games on this channel again. But like before, it's going to be horror themed and transformation themed video games to fit into what most of my channel is about, which is creatures and transformations and horror. So I want to keep within that range. Point up a couple cool channels I found on YouTube that has horror and or transformation content. First is Burst Error. So if you like retro video games and you like horror games, he has a lot of content regarding NES, Super NES. It's a fun watch if you're trying to discover some new things. Very good stuff. If you're a lover of Doom, there is Midnight, who mostly tracks down Doom horror modifications. And I also it's kind of funny, he's a Hispanic streamer, so he every once in a while say things in Spanish. It just tickles me for some reason. I really enjoy that. And last I want to feature is a streamer called Toad Bump, which also focuses on horror related games and content, but he mostly focuses on creepypasta games and video game hacks. So he is also fun to watch. So check out. So those are a few streamers you can check out if you're inclined to watch something new. On the punishment aspect of my life,
Sometimes we're not ourselves. There's no one I can turn to.
I purchased a program called 3dCoat. And what I like about 3dCoat, it has a bunch of tools, like it has retopo, has sculpting, it has a bunch of other cool features. It's very complicated and I'm having to adjust with it, and I've been fighting it. I've actually at some points I've actually just done things in Blender, even though its sculpting tools are not as great, just because I'm having learning pains. So one of the things I've been working on is Charizard person, instead of like a, Charizard that fights battles. He's just like, probably works a 9 to 5, has a wife, and struggles to make ends meet to feed his Charmander baby or whatever. So this is his design. I haven't gotten the tail done yet. So I mean, it's a very powerful tool, and you can, like I mentioned, it does have the topography. It does have 2 ways to sculpt. You can use voxels, or you can use just polygons. So it's a very powerful but frustrating tool. I've also heard that the texture painting is amazing. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. One thing I've been enjoying is playing Super Metroid rando generators, such as Varia and MapRando. These both have been a ton of fun to play, very challenging stuff. Some of the techniques I've had to learn, there's plenty of speedrunning techniques to get past some problems. I got in the Metroid bug again because of these hacks. I plan on playing more Metroid in the future. It's like one of my favorite series, and these really cool hacks have like resurged my love in the series. I also have Metroid Dread, which I really never gave a full chance, so I will also be trying that in the future. Another thing I tried last month is a small little chatting app called VR Chat. You might have heard of it. Well, I literally explored a dead airport made by a furry that really likes airplane humanoid saunas and for some reason. So it was an interesting experience. I was impressed by all the various user design levels and just all the 3D characters that were wandering around, which I incessantly tried to avoid because I didn't want them to talk to me, because I'm pretty shy. The main reason I downloaded VR Chat is because I wanted to get the VM character that you're staring at right now. I wanted to get him in VR Chat, but there seems to be a lot of hurdles that I have to go through. I have to play the game a certain amount of hours. I have to have a certain amount of friends, and I haven't been able to invest enough hours or get enough friends in the game to be able to do that, so I kind of gave up. Oh no, they found me. One of the things I've noticed is that there's a lot of younger players on the servers. I was also impressed by all the avatars they have, even though some are ridiculous, like this giant T-Rex that doesn't seem to be programmed correctly. But yeah, you can go into McDonald's and roleplay that you're working at McDonald's. I'm pretty sure people that actually work at McDonald's wouldn't want to do that. And yes, there's our avatars as well. A lot of furries, which is not surprising. It's like a weird surreal place. Would I recommend it? I don't know. I can't get my avatar in the game. I also played a video game called Deathkeep, and boy is it a hot mess. But there's something strangely magical about it, even though it's pretty much a hot mess. It tries to be Ultima Underworld plus fast first-person Doom-like controls, but it falls short on both, and it also has you playing inventory Tetris every 5 minutes. But what I did like about it was the music. Some of the levels are very well made. Other levels are just like mazes, and not only are they just mazes, they're like symmetrical mazes. And you'll find that a lot in this video game. I got stuck for an hour trying to jump on a platform I needed to get to the exit. So I purchased the DOS version for like $4, I think. There's also a 3DO version, which I discovered when a popular YouTuber named Modular played a bunch of 3DO games, and this was one of them. But I was against that because it doesn't have a map in the 3DO version. despite people claiming that that one's better. And this has mouse controls, which are good and bad at the same time. Do I recommend this game? No. Be more specific. Fuck no. But I beat it anyway. I was gonna get my $4 out of it. I also tried my hand at a game called Heretic, which to be frank, felt like Doom with skin on top. It had very similar enemies, very similar weapons, and it loved to hide main areas and secret walls. So that made it fun to wander levels for an hour, not figuring out where to go, and then oh, it's a hidden wall. So I don't recommend Heretic. What I do recommend is Hexen, which has this really cool open world style maze design, has much better weapons. Even though it shows its age, it was a blast to play. I definitely recommend it, even though I think it starts getting weaker at the final levels. But it does start out pretty strong. If you like these old boomer shooters and want yours with a fantasy sci-fi theme, this is a great game to play. A game that I've been quite obsessed with for the last couple months off and on is a Super Mario 64 ROM hack called B3133. It's based on the idea that each copy of Super Mario 64 is personalized. This hack is ginormous. There's over 400 stars, and it has a Metroidvania style progression where you collect red stars through this ginormous world, and the more you collect, the more you unlock of the world, and the more powers and the more moves you get back, because you start with a very limited move set, and your move set expands as you collect more red stars. It also is pretty creepy and has quite a few really cool horror elements to it, and just the ginormity of the game. You could play it for hours. I think my first playthrough took like 20 hours, and I don't think I've seen like half the game. So if you like your Super Mario 64 hacks creepy and mesmerizing, download this hack, because it's probably not only one of the biggest hacks I've played, it's one of the best. So I definitely recommend it. Like I said, off and on for the last few months, I've been obsessed with it. If you love Super Mario, this is your dream hack. I also want to thank Infern for gifting me a copy of Dragon Dogma 2. I really enjoyed playing the game, even though I kind of suck at it. I do appreciate him letting me use his pawn to help me get through some hard parts. But yeah, I really enjoyed my playthrough, even though I only uploaded like a few hours of it to my YouTube channel. I might get back to it again and try to do some side quests. But yeah, this is a great game. I originally thought it would be more like Dark Souls, but it's not. It's more of an, more of a standard action RPG, which is totally fine. There's a lot of cool hidden stuff. And I love how you interact with your pawns and how they help you find things. And if you have one of your friends pawn in the party, their pawn will give you hints in certain areas. It's a pretty cool system. I know it's been a while. It's been out for a while, but if you want to try a cool action RPG, this is definitely worth checking out. So, within the past 6 months or so, I've been doing a lot of transformation animations. Quick sketches that I've done. I just wanted to show you some of them. Recently I just uploaded this one. It's, I guess, what they call a backwards transformation. Someone suggested that I should do a full view because of obvious reasons. Guess what the tail will become? But I mean, I might, but it would be on my Patreon. Sorry, I probably won't. So don't get too excited. This is the first one I did. Pretty simple, pretty sloppy, pretty easy. Then I did a dragon tar. Well, not the full thing, but a little part of it. And then I updated it and added the rest. I thought it needed the entire sequence. So I did that one. I did some, stretchy ones, as they call them. The hand, morphs you into something else. These didn't do too well. I didn't think people liked them a lot. I thought they were fun to do. And I guess I'll show you one more. I got a lot of requests to do a tail one, so I did, but hardly anyone looked at it, so it's like, what's the deal? To be honest, I've been quite discouraged for the last year or so regarding my art. I guess I've been pushing too hard. Been trying to draw things to get more views and attention, but it has not worked. And I don't know, I felt like I hit a wall for a while, and I was just going through motions. To be frank, for the last year, Twitter/X pretty much was poison to me because of how the algorithm works and just how it shows things in regard. It's just a very discouraging website for an artist to use. So I will actually be no longer using Twitter X. I actually will be posting some shaded artwork that I removed off it previously and putting it back on, and then I'm going to upload like the last 5 or 6 pieces that I have, and then I will be logging off it and I won't be using it anymore. I mean, it's really odd to say this, but I've never had social media affect me so negatively as Twitter X has. It's, even though I have like almost 2,000 watches on it, I was originally afraid to just let it go, but I just have to for my mental health. I have to just let it go. I mean, before I started using Twitter, I never really cared about how many views I had or how popular I became or trying to create content to gain more viewers. I never really cared about that. I just love transformation and art and dragons, and I would draw them and people would look at them. But something snapped in me when I started using Twitter X 2 years ago, and yeah, it became way too important. So for my mental health, and because I am affected with anxiety and stuff, and I also have had some health problems this year, I just can't handle it anymore. I just am no longer use Twitter X. Now perhaps if Elon Musk sells Twitter X, or maybe if things calm down after the election, maybe, but probably not. I'm still going to be using YouTube and for Affinity and Blue Sky. I also will continue to be posting on DeviantArt, but I won't actually interact on that site. It's just so filled with AI slop now. It's not worth looking at anymore. So that's my status. Well, that's what's currently happening. I know this is a little longer, but I'm going to add some certain things to share with you guys instead of just saying, ooh, I made this transformation image, because I want my blogs to be a little more meaningful. If you like this content, or if you liked some games I've showed you and actually would like me to do a full-on review, just let me know. I actually record every video game I play, my entire playthroughs, and I'll be happy to go into more depth if there's any games you're interested in. If you like what I'm doing and would like to support me in my endeavors, and also help pay parts of my medical bills, please consider joining my Patreon. But if you don't want to, that's fine too. Please like and subscribe if you find my content interesting. If not, that's okay too. You're welcome to send me any feedback if you have any questions. I'm always happy to answer. Well, thank you all for taking the time to listen to me. Have a great weekend.